models.
Hi, good morning and welcome to our webinar today by MagicXpi on Salesforce integration. It's April the 24th. It's a beautiful Friday morning. So welcome everybody and thank you for your time to join us today. So we're going to be talking about Salesforce integration and the MagicXpi's approach to this, talking about some of the challenges, and we'll go through a lot of details around Salesforce integration. I'm David Berlin. I work with MagicXpi as an account manager, and I am joined by Joe De Silva, one of our senior solution architects. So it's going to be a short session. It's expected to last approximately 30 to 45 minutes. And during the session actually will be recorded, so you'll receive a link in a couple of days to view and share the recorded session with your colleagues. For the purpose of sound quality, your audio will be muted, but we do like to try and keep our webinars as interactive as possible. So I'll be asking you some questions during the session, and I'll encourage you to also ask us some questions that you have. You can ask questions at any time by typing your questions into the question bar, and we'll address the questions towards the end of the session. So to kick off, I'm going to actually start off with a question that I'd like you to answer for me, just so we've got a feel in terms of the people that are attending, wherever you're dialing in from. I'd just like to know a little bit about the Salesforce that you're using and how long you've actually been using it. So you should see questions on your screen, a question on your screen at the moment, and just asking how long you've been using Salesforce. So just click one of the options that is most applicable to you. I'll just give a minute or so just for you to answer that, and then we can get started. Right. Just another few seconds. Okay. All right, so it does, just to let you know, it seems that we've got quite a few attendees that aren't using Salesforce, and then there's a good proportion of people that have been using Salesforce for longer than a 2-year period. Okay, all right, great. So just to give you an overview of what we'll be discussing, just to put MagicXpi into context, just so you understand exactly what we're all about and where we come from, just give you a brief introduction to Magic. I'll be talking about some of the challenges that where we see this in the industry in terms of integration requirements, some of the challenges that will be applicable to you, and just as a very general overview of integration challenges, and then also looking at the approaches specifically around the Magic approach in terms of how we address and how we find solutions for these particular challenges. We'll be going on to a demo. It will be a live demo by Joe, so that will take place towards the end, and then we'll be going on to some questions. So we'll answer your questions at the end. Like I say, please just post them at any time. Post your questions into the question box. All right, so just a little bit about Magic. I'm not going to spend too much time on Magic, but just so you're aware, we are a company that have been around for a long time. We've been in existence for over 30 years. So in that 30-year period, we've seen constant changes in the world of technology, and of course our solutions are constantly evolving according to the different needs of the customers and the market. So naturally within this time period, we've seen Salesforce come up and start dominating the market, and we've been supporting Salesforce throughout that time. We essentially we allow IT departments to join hands with the business to improve profitability through the use of innovative technology. Our solutions are based on either our application development platform or our integration platform, or in some of the better scenarios, it's a combination of both. So for today's session, we're just going to be focusing on the actual integration platform and more specifically on Salesforce integration. So when it comes to looking at some of the challenges, the ecosystem challenges, any organization that is considering application integration are going to be faced with a number of challenges. So some of these challenges, firstly, there's an integration scenario may imply integration with incompatible data formats within legacy systems. So legacy systems may not have a standard web service or interface. So this applies to older systems that are maybe bespoke, things like older versions of SAP. So every system is going to be different. So this is one of the major challenges around approaching integration. The different platforms may imply either on-premise or other cloud-based apps. So an integration platform or approach should easily cover cloud-to-cloud as well as cloud to on-premise integration. Different platforms may also imply other platforms such as Linux or iSeries. In fact, iSeries is a common platform with things like integration of Salesforce to JD Edwards. So the integration platform also needs to be able to cater for all the different platforms and also to be able to run on specifically those platforms that are vital for your organization. The divide between business and IT is something I love, and it's something we see so often in just about every organization. It's found in any organization that's got an IT department. So it generally applies with so many strategies that organizations embark on. So things like enterprise mobility, collaboration, compliance regulation, the list goes on. It may create difficulties in integration projects, the challenges essentially. But with the correct approach and the solution, this can work to everyone's advantage. An ideal solution will solve both the IT people's issues as well as the business issues. So from the IT side, these issues could be things like a time to deliver a solution, dealing with the heterogeneous IT systems, as well as a knowledge of all of these different systems, and of course the maintenance costs for those. The business people, they've got objectives such as being able to automate their business processes very quickly and agile through different IT systems, and be able to have the ability to change them whenever necessary. Complex management and little visibility, well, business users, they don't really care how the integration is done, but they want visibility and agility. Technical people, on the other hand, they want high visibility to make sure that the systems are always up and running, and they want easy management and maintenance of those systems. So when it comes to integration with Salesforce to any other system, our approach is by using the platform that we provide, which is called MagicXpi. So this is the approach that we take is essentially process orchestration. So it's about building data flows based on the business processes. It provides high-level process automation and a real-time view of the workflows and activities. It needs to be a real business-focused solution that can isolate any technology behind the connections and the different systems. So with this type of solution, you don't have to be an expert in things like Apex, or be able to develop in Apex, or BAPI, or Java, .NET, even web services, or any other technology that's required to connect to multiple enterprise systems. Instead, MagicXpi encapsulates all of this within connectors, and the connectors to these various systems that we provide, they pre-built components that contain all the connectivity requirements as well as the business logic for accessing your enterprise applications. In addition to the connectors, there's also adapters. So these are not only systems that we connect to, obviously. We'll connect to any type of system using a wide variety of adapters that can connect to any type of file system, whether it's XML, any database, any type of data source. And a little bit more will come out of that when Joe shows his demo in a little while. The development that is done within MagicXpi is completely code-free. Now, when I say it is completely code-free, it truly is completely code-free. The developer is presented with an interface that is graphical and intuitive. This is what allows the integration development built with MagicXpi to be very rapid. So with this approach, projects developed within the platform can be easily modified to adapt to any changes in business processes, and any type of data source can be included in the actual data flow, thereby allowing the developer to be far more productive. This is proven technology. We work with Salesforce directly, we work with Salesforce partners globally, and we also work with Salesforce end users. What you're about to see in the demo is going to demonstrate that this is a platform that's far more powerful than any type of ETL tool. It's far more advanced than simply loading data. It is a very powerful tool, and a lot can be done with it. In fact, we are quite amazed sometimes in terms of the things that our customers have achieved using this platform. Just a last point on the connectors, because connections to vital systems is crucial in terms of the data that's stored there. We make sure that any of the connectivity is completely certified or recognized with the major application vendors. And that allows the connectors to be kept updated with the latest changes. It also provides the security. So if there's any changes in a particular API, we'll continue to provide and support those changes. All right, there's a number of integration scenarios that we encounter regularly. So some of the examples that we deal with and currently dealing with are things like managing the Salesforce processes to build a data warehouse. Now, in that particular process, there may be some type of data cleansing or deduplication required with that building as well. When any type of record is modified or changed or added into Salesforce, that can automatically be transferred into another system, such as an ERP system. So a good example is when a new account is added into Salesforce, that account is automatically created within SAP or JD Edwards or any other type of ERP system. Some of the solutions we've provided are a quote-to-cash process, product, contracts, invoice, and all the other relevant information that's required to be updated. We also provide automating the processes between Salesforce and e-commerce types of websites, automating the complete flow between that process. Another good use is provisioning for new Salesforce users with an automated integration that is currently in a manual process, and customers need to automate that together with an HR system. So the integration between Salesforce and the HR system becomes seamless and automated. We've had customers requesting solutions that will provide integration to social networks like Facebook, Twitter, as well as Chatter. So there's integration for that as well that we can provide. At this stage, I'm going to ask another relevant question, just in terms of using the various types of applications, because there are many different types of applications that we will support. But I'm curious just to get an understanding from you, which application types are the most important to you. So when you think about integrating Salesforce into other applications, which are the major applications based on the list that you see now would you consider as being the most important for your purposes? So obviously there's a number of other systems, so I've got an option there for other, but if there are particular systems that are most important for you, I'd be curious to know. Okay, just give that another minute. Following this, we're going to be moving towards our live demo. So I'm going to close this, this voting for now. Thank you for your responses on that. All right, just some of the services that are provided by Magic in terms of the integration services that we offer. We obviously we're a global company and we provide global support to organizations around the world. We also provide professional services in terms of training and mentoring. So that's all part of the general services that we offer. So typically when there's a new project that is required for integration, we'll work together with our customers to develop the scoping of the workflows, and we can also manage the entire project management in terms of designing, the mapping, scoping out, and implementing of that solution. We have literally hundreds, thousands of customers around the world that have used this technology. So I invite you to go onto our website and view some of these. I'll just give you a quick view. You can actually see what it looks like on our website. So these are some of the customers that are using our technology. You'll see at the bottom we've got pages and pages of customers with success stories that you can actually go and view. So the list goes on, and these are customers from all over the world and across all verticals. So we don't focus on any particular vertical market. It's any organization that have got multiple systems and require some type of process orchestration for their systems. Okay. At this stage, I'm going to hand over to Joe, who's going to provide a demo. Now, it is a live demo, so bear in mind that to try and simulate an integration process, we're going to be opening up multiple systems to try and demonstrate the value of what we're offering and how it can be achieved in terms of the Magic approach. So in this particular example that Joe will be showing, it's going to be integration between Salesforce and an ERP system, and for the purpose of today, it's going to be, I believe it will be SAP, but of course this could be any system that is in your enterprise. And the real value comes out when there are several systems that need to be integrated, because the process flows can incorporate multiple systems. So I'm going to hand over to Joe now, who will be starting that demo. So Joe, it's over to you. Joe, we can't hear you. Can you switch your audio? Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, you're faster than my audio speed. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I just had someone having audio problems, but just one out of nearly 20, so it should mostly be okay. And can see my screen as well. Before I just show you the live demo, let me just give you a quick overview just to put in context, because I'm not sure how many people are technical and non-technical on the audience. So let me just give you a view of what exactly I'm going to show you. So I'm going to break down what is something that was developed just as a quick demo to show the integration between Salesforce and an ERP. As we can see by the poll, most of you this is a very common scenario, but as David mentioned, we extrapolate that to any application or any system. And then I'll go into the demo itself, but please keep asking questions as we go along. When you create any integration, the first thing we normally break down is to think about the business processes. And this is a screenshot of the development studio itself that documents the flow of data, and that will be used to drive the flow and orchestrate what should happen. So if you think split, this can be designed and split in multiple ways, but in this example, think about one system, an ERP, as the input. There will be a series of steps in between that, in this example, is replicating data, which is what I'm going to show you. But you could add other things like logging or errors or alerts, emails and messages, etc., which ends up updating a system which is on the right-hand side in this case. In another example, you could also have an input of multiple systems are being watched by a specific event, let's say input of data, as in the case for data quality or data deduplication. And the piece in between is XPI as one connector that is matching any data, any duplicate data, and on the right-hand side, what actions was defined to then be taken when a duplicate is found. It could be alerted via report or on a mobile device or on a web page or on an interactive systems like SharePoint, but also could go back into the originating system and fix the duplicate, let's say when you're pretty sure that is a duplicate by a scoring system, for example. The next part we normally define is the topology, so which applications are involved, which servers, where are they located, and how they are connected. Here's just an example. Let's say you could have SAP running on a very specific network with very specific boundary security, etc. And you have on the other side Salesforce that's running in the cloud and connecting to different systems or different locations that you might have. Another example here with different locations but involving different systems. They all are designed and dropped with the connectors. When we want to then detail that action from the first example, the business flow, we have a list of connectors or components that understand the system or the application or the service that you want to talk to or update. So remember that these components, they work dynamically and they either read or interact or talk to from the point of view of getting data, but also sending data back and updating any services. So this allows you to integrate not only with very well-known systems in multiple areas, but also to any application or code or specific system, legacy or service that you might have in-house. And this comes down to a very familiar format or specific standard pattern that I'm going to show you here. So we drop connectors in a visual environment, and this is a real example of a workflow that is working. And this looks more like a design area, but it's actually the code, in quotes if you like, that defines what happens. So just to give a quick overview, this says I'm watching for some event in SAP, therefore I have the SAP connector on the top. And when a specific action happens there, that process is triggered, XPI then knows that event happened and start taking action going down the list of the connectors. So you could log the information, go to Salesforce, create an account, etc. and then finish the flow. And this defines that you can create any process involving any system, any service, any location, and you will have a means to define that business process, how it should flow, what action should be taken, and when. If you open up any of those steps, you don't get code again. You see on the left-hand side the source of the data, which again could be a database, a service, or a system, and on the right-hand side the destination. And you say this information goes from here into there by using the mouse. So just drag and drop. and you could combine information, you could transform by combining multiple fields. So this is the level of programming you do. And for each connector, you have a wizard format that allows you to access any object, for example, in Salesforce, what kind of actions you can take, update, delete, or watch, and then what triggers or events should happen that then you want an action to be taken. This is what I'm going to show you running in a minute. The same way, let's say, for SharePoint or any other application that you might have in-house. Behind the scenes, we have an infrastructure that is in memory, is a data grid that can be split across multiple locations, multiple servers, multiple topologies, and that is dynamically scaled, meaning that if you start small with one type of business process, and you have a need to scale that, these are done automatically. So there's no need to go back to the design and rework because you have that need. So that's a very interesting infrastructure that performs, offer security, and offer scalability and recovery, automatic replication, and backups as well. Let me just switch machines, and I'm going to show you something running. Let's go back to here. What I have here is SAP and Salesforce. So I'm going to log on to, it looks like I lost my connection to the server. Let me just reconnect. So I have Salesforce and I have SAP. Let's start it. And I'm going to create an account in Salesforce and then show you that being passed across to SAP, but also getting information back from SAP and updating Salesforce. So I have a list of accounts here just for testing purposes. I'm going to create a new one. So let me create an account. I'm going to call it SFDC webinar. I did some before, so I don't know. Let's call it 1103, just so you see a reference to this time. Let's call it test 1103. I'm not going to fill all the fields, just a minimum that SAP, for example, will require. Otherwise, it will refuse to include that information. But imagine on your real situation here that you have, for example, a specific field or action, or this should only be triggered when I actually change one of the fields. Let's say you could say I only want this updated for a specific type of rating, or etc. So any of those fields can be used as a trigger. What you're going to see back here, so there's a process that's running in the background and watching for those changes and then doing all the links into SAP and back. What you're going to see here is the ERP reference coming back from SAP when this process finished a round trip. So if we go back here to the studio, just to show you very quickly, what's happening behind the scenes is that this is the process that was defined. Something should be watched in Salesforce, any update, even though it says account, but I'm watching for any account update or new account. And that will create a customer in SAP, which is delegated to this flow here that goes into SAP, create an account there, and goes back to Salesforce and update with the account number. So just to give you a quick overview, if I open SAP here, for those of you that use SAP, we recognize those. I'm speaking here the SAP language, so there's no code involved. And when I go to Salesforce and open the details, I see the Salesforce objects, etc. So this gives you a list of all of the objects you want to access, including your user-defined objects. And whenever any of these systems are talked to, these components impersonate a specific account or specific credentials to then apply the same format to make sure that the data that's being kept or updated is obeying a specific criteria or specific credentials or impersonation, etc. For the end users, just please look the other way. This is mainly for the developers. Is just to show that things are happening behind the scenes, and these are messages that are being passed between Salesforce and SAP. And let me get here. Let me go back here. Tutorial update. It's not finished yet, so let me just go back here. Level 5 was the last one. This was the previous one. Let me just create a new one while I'm waiting for the process to finish. Let me just type a new one quickly. Webinar. This is going to be 1107. And 1107 GB. Save this one. 1103. Just do a quick update on this one. I think I forgot the phone number. Update this one as well. Okay, so let me just go back here. 1107. I've got a duplicate address. 1106. And I have a new account. So this account was created in SAP. I have the number here. So if I go to SAP, try to locate that account. XDO3. Close this. I'm not an SAP user, but let's just try to navigate through here. Okay, XDO3 is what should allow me to locate that account. type that number here. Very slow, but should get there. And there you are. So I've got the first one, 1103. I should by now have the other one back as well. But let's just go back to these 1103. And if you look here, you see that the ERP, that number that was created, the customer number that was created in SAP, came back and was updated as well. So just to illustrate that you can keep any system in sync by defining through the workflow in the studio what are the actions that should be taken, which systems are involved, and how that should work. So this is my demo. I'll pass it back to David, and we can go through the questions. As you can see, we have a few questions to answer as well. David?
Okay, thank you, Joe. That was great. If you could, if you can see my screen at the moment, let's see. Okay. Okay. So as you can appreciate, that was a live demo, and of course the real beauty is for the end users, the business users that are using those systems. So you'd have your Salesforce users and your ERP users, and for them it's going to be quite seamless. They'll be able to continue entering data, and everything in the background is taken care of with these processes, these business processes that Magic has drawn up. So, so yeah, there was a great demo. Thank you, Joe. Now, just moving on, we've got a little bit of time for questions. Don't have much time. There's some questions we will certainly get back to by email, but one question here about let's see, it's about duplication. Okay, the question is, guys, I like the mention of data quality and deduplication. Is that a one-time process or something we have to do continuously? Can it be automated? Okay, well, I'm going to pass to Joe to answer, but firstly, if I could just mention that in terms of deduplication, that does form part of our data quality solution. So we've got a complete solution for data quality in terms of identifying duplicate records and managing those records. In terms of doing it continuously or automated, well, it can be both, but I'm going to pass to Joe to give a little bit more detail about that. Joe, could you answer that?
Yeah, sure. Yes, I showed you a slide with the, this was one of the first examples in the slide that exactly get information from any system. So this can work in the background or as you go along. So you could, as the users enter data in a specific system, that could be triggering a process in the background that is checking any other relevant system and for any duplicate, and then give a warning on the screen, or can also be done afterwards and cleans for, let's say, existing data that you may already have. And while I'm at here, there's another question from Harry about the direct MySQL database. Yes, we have connectors that speak with any database and any language. So yeah, MySQL is one of those supported databases for out of the box, yes.
Okay, great. We're approaching the end of our allotted time, but what I would mention is that we'll certainly be answering the other questions via email, but we will be attending the Salesforce World Tour next month. I do hope that you will be there. If you are attending this particular event, please do come by and say hello to us at our booth. We'll be presenting there. And also, if if you do come by and you come to our booth, we will be having, we'll be giving away some special gifts to select customers. So if you come to our booth and mention that you were on this particular webinar, then you will qualify for this for the particular giveaways that we're providing. There's only going to be, I think, 2 or 3. So please do come in and say hello, come have a chat with us, and you'll qualify for that. So I want to thank everybody for attending this webinar. As I mentioned before, it is recorded, so you will get a link to view this again. But thank you very much, and that concludes the webinar. Thank you.